So my name is Orlaith and I'm studying European Studies. I'm studying French. I used to study French and Spanish, but now I'm just doing French and I'm in final year. Yeah, absolutely. So in secondary school, I knew I wanted to do something to do with French. I loved French in school. I kind of only wanted to do French. But of course, that's quite difficult. And everyone recommended, do applied languages, but I very much just wanted to do French. And so I found this course in UL, European Studies, and I obviously was very much interested in Europe and traveling and the EU. And I found that this allowed me to just do French and then also a variety of subjects. I ended up doing French and Spanish, but that was no problem. But I could have just done French if I wanted, so I was really delighted I chose the course. There's many positive aspects, like the French learning is to such a high level. French teaching broken down into kind of literature, written, oral. That was so exciting to me, kind of to enhance what I had done in secondary school. The many different subjects I had never done in secondary school before, like law, EU politics, sociology, all them things was so enjoyable. I also was able to learn a brand new language, Spanish, which I actually ended up really enjoying, even though I was so kind of like, no, just French in secondary school. There's so many, too many to name. Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many supports for language learning in UL. The biggest one is where I am right now, which is a language learning hub, and that provides every week these discussion groups with French, Spanish, German natives, Erasmus students, and you get to go to one-on-ones, you get to go to group discussions. Also, just like there's a variety of just resources in general here in the language learning hub, and I've definitely benefited off that throughout my 4 years as well. Like the teaching level of it is quite of a high standard. Like I said, broken down into quite manageable different aspects. I really enjoyed how I got to do like French literature. Like I love reading, and I was able to do. I remember reading the course outline, going into the course and seeing, oh my god, I get to read French books. Like that's so exciting. Also, with college, because you choose the course, a lot of people want to be there. So it was really nice. I got to speak French with my friends outside of class, and there's a strong sense of motivation, which also helps your own motivation. Yeah, absolutely. So first I had my co-op, which was my work placement, and that was in Belgium, and that was really enjoyable. That was my second semester of second year, so from January until July. And here I was working in a conference centre, kind of front of house receptionist intern kind of job, in Belgium, in Leuven in Flanders, and that was so enjoyable because a lot of the time I got to go into Brussels and work in the EU quarter, be in the middle of that kind of sphere, I suppose, and see it on hand. And like that, of course, was so in line with my course, because European Studies I had spent the last 2 years learning about the very things I was seeing, and that was just so beneficial to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then after that I had my Erasmus, so straight away after, in first semester of third year, and here I went to Strasbourg in France, and that was so enjoyable too. Beautiful to be there for the Christmas markets and everything, and really helped my French. Like I don't think my French would be to the level it is now if I didn't go on Erasmus. So that was one of the biggest benefits, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for the world. So at the moment I am UL's EU Student Career Ambassador. So here my role is to promote the jobs available in the EU to students, after graduation. Back in October I got to go to Brussels and receive training in this role, and at the moment I currently attend, I host online events, in-person events, I attend career fairs, and I manage a social media account to promote all the kind of traineeships available to students like me in European Studies, applied languages, arts, business, who might want to work in this area after. Also this semester I attended the Franco-Irish Literary Festival. So here me and another student, we were speaking at the LM040 about French books that we had studied and discussed with other French students, and we got to meet a variety of French and Irish authors. As well, in second year I worked in a language learning hub in a voluntary position, so I worked behind the desk, and that was really enjoyable as well. I was able to get a President's Volunteer award out of that. I got a silver award that year for the voluntary role. So yeah, there's been lots. I've been very lucky. Of course, I'm really interested in kind of getting back to the kind of EU environment, because I enjoyed it so much when I was there in second year, and at the moment I have a traineeship lined up in September in the Parliament in Brussels, working for an MEP, so I'm really excited to do that. That's for a couple of months, and then after that I'm kind of looking at maybe working back in Ireland or abroad, working maybe kind of clerical kind of administration, kind of once again related back to my co-op, because I really enjoy that kind of work. Yeah, so of course what I'd say is, I know everybody says this, but just, always keep chipping away, doing a little bit with your language, listening to a little bit of a podcast every day, watching your series, kind of discussing with your friends, going to, availing of the resources available to you, because it does really help. I know at the time it mightn't feel like it, but a little bit every day is better than nothing. So I definitely recommend that, and use resources available to you, and talk to your friends, and just stay passionate, and it will definitely pay off.